Samir Kassir was a Lebanese professor of history at St. Joseph University and journalist. Early life. Samir Kassir was born to a Palestinian father and a Syrian mother on 5 May 1960. Education. Kassir received his degree in philosophy and political philosophy in 1984. He gained a D in philosophy and political philosophy from Pantheon-Sorbonne University in the same year. He obtained his PhD in modern and contemporary history from Paris-Sorbonne University in 1990, with a thesis on the Lebanese Civil War. Journalism. Samir Kassir's journalistic career began when he was a 17-year-old secondary school student at the Lycée Français de Beirut, with unsigned contributions to the Lebanese Communist Party newspaper Al-Nida. The same year, he began contributing to the French-language daily L'Orient Le Jour. From 1981 to 2000, he contributed to the French international political review Le Monde Diplomatique. In 1982 and 1983 he edited the newsletter Le Liban en Lutte, which was dedicated to the Lebanese resistance against the Israeli occupation. From 1984 to 1985 he edited the weekly Al-Yom As-Sabi and from 1986 to 2004 he was a member of the editorial board of the Revue des Études Palestiniennes, the French-language journal of the Institute for Palestine Studies. From 1988 to 1989 he contributed to the London-based pan-Arab daily Al-Hayat. In 1995 he founded a new monthly political and cultural review, L'Orient Express, which he edited until it ceased publication in 1998, from lack of interest and pressure from the advertising industry. For that year on he was a professor at the Institut des Sciences Politiques de l'Université Saint-Joseph in Beirut. It was also in 1998 that Kassir became an editorial writer for the daily Al-Nahar newspaper. He became widely known for his popular weekly column in which he wrote strong articles against the pro-Syrian government. He also made frequent appearances on several television stations as a political analyst on news programs. Assassination and funeral. Kassir was assassinated using a car bomb in a Christian part of Beirut on 2 June 2005, just few days after the general elections. The investigation into his assassination is underway, but to date no one has been indicted, since he had been constantly receiving threats from Lebanese and Syrian intelligence officers. There is widespread speculation in Lebanon that the perpetrators were the Lebanese-Syrian security apparatus, or remnants of this force. The Syrian government has denied these charges. On 4 June, a funeral ceremony was performed for him in Beirut with the attendance of hundreds. Aftermath. There was widespread condemnation for the killing and many prominent opposition figures blaming the blast on the Lebanese and Syrian governments. Among them were Hariri's son, Saad Hariri, who said the blood-stained hands that assassinated Rafik Hariri are the same ones that assassinated Samir Kassir. Moreover, Ali Zartala, Secretary-General of the Democratic Left Movement, urged his allies to the presidential palace and remove President Lahoud. However, the calls remained unanswered. Years later, March 14, allies admitted that had Lahoud been removed, Lebanon would have been spared the later political assassinations. Kassir was among the first victims in the growing list of political assassinations that occurred in Lebanon from 2004 to 2008. These began with the attempted assassination of Marwan Hamadeh and followed with the killing of Rafik Hariri in 2005. After Kassir, George Howie, the former head of the Lebanese Communist Party, was targeted by another car bomb. This was followed by failed assassination attempts at former Interior Minister and former Syrian ally Elias Mer and popular LBC TV anchorwoman and journalist May Chidiak, who survived, but lost an arm and leg. On 12 December 2005, Samir Kassir's colleague, and Nahar's chief editor, and top anti-Syria legislator Gebran Tueni, was killed by a car bomb. Pierre Amin Gemayel, the former Minister of Industry, was another victim in the series of assassinations. MP Walid Edo from the Hariri-led Future Movement was killed near the military bath of Beirut on 13 June 2007. Shortly afterwards, MP Antoine Ghanem of the Lebanese Phalanges Party was killed in another car bomb on 19 September 2007 in the Sin al-Fil suburb of Beirut, then second in command of the Lebanese armed forces. General François Al-Hajj was killed in the military-secured suburb of Bada on 12 December 2007. 1 month later, security chief and top Lebanese investigator into the International Tribunal for the Hariri assassination was killed in January 2008. Many have blamed Syria for all the recent assassinations of its opponents' views. A prominent left-wing activist, Kassir was a strong advocate of freedom for the Palestinians, democracy in Lebanon and Syria, and a vocal critic of the Syrian presence in Lebanon. He was a keen advocate of secular democracy in the Middle East. What reconciliation needs, if the United States were really willing to reach such reconciliation, is first a revision of its understanding of Arab democracy, which has been restricted until now to the American Convention that mandates Arabs give up the pan-Arab ties, and the issues that steer their feelings most, on top of them the Palestinian issue. Known for his unrelenting courage, Kassir was unafraid of expressing trenchant opinions. He continuously spoke for the rights of the Palestinians. He recognized courage and determination in others and took under his wing leading young pro-democracy and human rights activists such as Wissam Tariq, with whom Kassir developed a warm and close friendship. It was his non-compromising views on the Ba'ath government that many believe led to his assassination. He maintained a keen and sympathetic interest in Syria despite his criticism of its involvement in Lebanon, and was on close terms with many Syrian intellectuals, including those involved in the Damascus Spring. He was a founding member of the Democratic Left movement, which won a seat in the Lebanese parliamentary elections of 2005. Kassir and the party he helped establish were both very influential in triggering the popular upheavals following Prime Minister Rafik Hariri's killing. Works. Kassir's books, in French and Arabic, include a history of Beirut and a study of the Lebanese Civil War. He also co-authored a book about the Palestinian-Israeli conflict and Palestinian-French relations. His last book in Arabic concerned with the Damascus Spring and the consequences for Lebanon of Syrian political developments. Syrian dissident, filmmaker Omar Amraleh penned its introduction. Before his assassination, he was working on another book about the Beirut Spring that aimed to discuss the recent momentous developments in Lebanon, that was supposed to be published by Actes Sud. In February 2006, a book was published with the same title by Actes Sud, but contained translations of Arabic articles written mainly after Hariri's assassination. Itinérés de Paris à Jérusalem. La France et le conflit israélo-arabe. 2 volumes. Paris. Revue des études palestiniennes. 1992 et 1993. La guerre du Liban. De la dissension nationale au conflit régional. Paris. Carthela. Sermoc. 1994. Histoire de Beyrouth. Paris. Fayard. 2003. ISBN 2-213-029806. Askar Ayla MEQ10. Lubnan al-Jamhuriya al-Mafkuda, Beirut, Dar al-Nahar, 2004. Demokratiat Syria wa istiqlal Lubnan al-Bar th and Rabi Damashq, Beirut Dar al-Nafha 2004. Consideration sur la Malarabe, Paris, Iqtisad 2004. Translated and published by Dar al-Nafha in November 2005. Liban, Unprintempt Sinachove, Iqtisad 2006. Translated from Arabic by Hoda Salabi. L'Unfeliciter Araba, Julia Einaudi, Editor S. P.A. Torino 2006. Primavera per una Syria democratica e un Libano independente, Messaggio by Gemes, R.L. 2006. Das Arabische Unglück Schiller 2006. De la Desgracia de Sarab Almazara 2006. Being Arab, Verso, London 2006. Den Arabiska Olakan, Ruin, Stockholm 2006. Adver Era Araba, Informations for Lag, Kobuhau in 2009. Arap Talis Isligi, Ilitisim Yain Lari, Istanbul 2011. Personal life. He was an Eastern Orthodox Christian married to Giselle Khoury, a talk show host on Al Arabiya television. He is survived by two daughters, Mesa and Liana, from a previous marriage. Legacy. His wife, Giselle Khoury, and a group of Kassir's friends, students and colleagues from L'Orient Express, including writer Elias Khoury, created the Samir Kassir Foundation. One of the foundation's objectives would be translating his works into English, Italian, and Norwegian. A special edition of L'Orient Express was published in November 2005 to celebrate its 10th anniversary under the title The Unfinished Spring, and was dedicated in memory of Kassir. This project was initially Kassir's idea, who was working on it before he was assassinated. A square in downtown Beirut, behind the Anahar building, was named in Kassir's honor. The EU delegation to Lebanon and the Kassir Foundation initiated a journalism prize in 2006. Dina Abdel Muti Darwich, an Egyptian journalist, won the first Samir Kassir Prize in 2006. The Kassir Foundation erected a bronze statue of the journalist there on the 2nd of June 2006, exactly a year after his assassination.